Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Talk It Out podcast. We are two dudes, one mic, and unfiltered opinions. I am Adam. He is Steven. It is Talk It Out Thursday. We got some interesting things we're going to talk about tonight. But first, Steven, you good, brother?
I'm always good, man. I'm always good.
You're not always good, but we'll go with it.
I try. I like to
We've
think it's a mental thing.
it is a mental thing. We've got we're gonna cover some different things tonight than we have been covering as of late. We try to we're predominantly football guys, but we're trying to explore some different avenues and talk some other things besides football, since football's unfortunately over with. We got some things that'll be coming up. Obviously, we got free agency, the draft, all that. We'll cover some stuff that happens in that, but before we get started, everybody, if you're new, if you're not new, please hit the like button, hit, you know, share it, subscribe, comment. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know what your opinions are versus our opinions. If we're wrong, let us know. And if we're right, hell, let us know. We're not probably right, but we're probably wrong more than we're right. But yeah, do that. Hit the like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on Twitter. It's obviously down there on the bottom, flowing all throughout the podcast. But yeah, you ready to jump in?
Yeah, man. Yeah, where do you want to start? We got three good topics. So where do we want to start at?
We're going to start with March Madness, which is approaching. And we were talking about this today. Steven's like, I want to cover my teams. And I thought about talking about who the potential top four is. And that's why Steven's like, well, hell, they're not going to make it. But let's talk a little bit of your team, because people know us, but they might not know our. Obviously, everybody knows by what I'm wearing who my team is. But go ahead. I want you to talk a little IU.
Little
Steven,
IU. So
Steven's a Hoosiers fan.
I am. So well, it's a little combo. So like my team is IU. My school is obviously Chattanooga, which is what I'm wearing today a little bit. Got the color behind me because I wore IU last week, or earlier this week. So IU is obviously my team. IU is going to get in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem saying that. They're going to be in the tournament in some way, shape, or form, but they're not going to be a high seed. Like probably like a 9 or 10 seed. They're not going to be
What?
up there. They're in their first year under Coach Woodson. They didn't make it the previous 4 years.
Yeah.
They actually kept a coach for 4 years who never made the tournament.
Yeah.
They look like they're on the up and up. They
Look,
look like they're on the upswing a little bit. We'll see.
let's just talk about the other day. We were sitting there and we pulled up what the bracket would look like at the time. Okay. And this was, I think it was beginning of this week, wasn't it, when we did this?
Yeah.
And my team, who I believe is 17-9 now. I don't know what's Indiana, somewhere around the same. I think they have a few less losses than us, actually.
No, I think they've got about the same.
Okay.
Let me
So
double check.
anyway, at that time, I think we were right around the same, Alabama and Indiana. And we looked at what the bracket would look like. And Alabama, I believe, was a 5 seed. And IU was a 9 or a 10. I can't
So
remember.
just for you,
Uh-huh.
IU is 16-9. Alabama is 17-9.
Okay. But I think at that time, man, maybe it wasn't this week. I don't remember. All I know is that my team was a 5 and your team, I believe, was a 9 seed.
Yeah, they're in the
And
8-9 game.
yeah. And we started talking about it, and it's all because of quad 1 wins, which is top 25 pretty much, right? And we can look at the schedule, and this is not a bash to your team, IU, because they're a really good team. And to have a first year head coach there to be 16-9, that's awesome. But Alabama, we play like shit against horrible teams, our bad teams, and we tend to play up to good teams. Now recently Auburn's beat us twice and Kentucky blew us out, but we went and beat Gonzaga. We went and beat Baylor. We beat Houston when they were a top 10 team. There's another one I'm forgetting that Tennessee. We beat Tennessee. So, and I think Tennessee was like a top 15 team. So I think Alabama has 7 quad one wins. I'm not 100% sure on what IU has, but that is probably the reason why obviously Alabama is a higher seed with about the same record.
Well, and
And
IU has also struck. They've the issue too is that IU this season has really struggled to close games out.
yeah,
They had a lead at Wisconsin earlier in the year. They blew that. They had a lead against Wisconsin this past week, yesterday or Tuesday, and they ended up losing that game. Obviously, they had the 5 players suspended and they lost at Northwestern. They're actually 0-4 in the month of February so far, which is not great.
right.
Obviously, not what you want to be doing heading into March, heading into
Yeah.
the tournaments.
Yeah.
The Big Ten's they got blown out really by Michigan State. The Big Ten's a solid conference. That's part of it. And that's not me saying the SEC is not. The SEC is an extremely solid conference. I think the SEC has about 3 or 4 teams at the top that are far and away the best, and then they have they have good teams.
Right.
I don't know if I'm talking Alabama. I mean, obviously Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, they're up there at the top. I think Alabama can fluctuate. Alabama was definitely the cream of the crop last year.
Yeah.
I don't know what the reason because they don't look to be the same team now. Everyone loses players.
I can tell you exactly what the reason is that we lost 3 people to the NBA, and John Petty, Herb Jones, and John Ramo. We also lost Alex Reese, who was a big force inside. We got a bunch of, we got some young guys playing this year, so it's a drop off. Obviously, I think we won like 15 games in a row last year in the SEC. Like it was insane what we were doing. And I actually think that was ahead of schedule, honestly. So we've got some good recruits coming in. But I want to talk about this real quick. So, I love March Madness. It's like my favorite time of the year for college, obviously for college basketball. I'm a big Alabama guy, but this is currently the rankings right now, Steven. Gonzaga's number 1, Auburn's number 2, Arizona is 3, Kentucky is 4. Let's just say that's the final 4 right now, okay? It's March, and this is the final 4. Who's winning? Who is winning the tournament out of those 4 teams?
So it's tough because I'm not going to lie. I know nothing about Arizona.
I was going to say the same thing.
Me.
And Arizona is 22-2 this season.
If I'm a bet, we've watched a lot of Auburn. Actually, obviously being in the South.
Watched a lot of Kentucky too.
Gonzaga's played now in 2 finals.
Yeah.
They've got the coach. They've got a great team. You would think that they would eventually break through. The fun thing with that rankings right there is Kentucky. Let's not forget, Kentucky will not be number 4 when the rankings are released next week.
Probably.
Because and Kentucky actually, of those 4, is probably the least likely in my mind. I mean, they got their doors blown off by Tennessee this week. I mean,
they also blew their doors off too.
That's true. It was kind of like 20 points this week, 20 points last one. Yeah. So, I mean, if it's of those 4, I'm probably going to go Gonzaga. My heart would want to go Auburn because, obviously, I love Bruce Pearl.
Yeah.
I love what he's done down there, and they are a great team.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, it's just as likely those 4 teams are not the final 4 teams.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of March Madness.
Right. This is hypothetical. I have no question it's Auburn. No question. It's Auburn. I know Gonzaga's been there. That team is always so good. 21-2. Alabama gave them one of those. Thank you. But after I've watched Auburn this year, and I can't stand saying this, you know me. I can't root for Auburn, right? I can't root for Auburn. But out of those 4 teams, Auburn is the most complete team there. Kentucky is really good. They just got a bunch of athletes. Gonzaga, obviously. And I'm going to say Auburn, but I don't know anything about Arizona, like you said. Like, I don't ever see them. don't watch them. I probably should more now, obviously, since they're 22-2. Um, I couldn't name one player on Arizona. I don't even know who their damn coach is. So, but out of those other three teams, it's Auburn all the way for me. I think they would. I'm not going to say run away with it, but with the depth they probably have the number one pick in the draft too, in Jabari Smith. So if it ended like that, I'd 100% put my money on Auburn. I mean, but you are correct though. That's probably not going to be the Final Four. That probably won't be the top four next week, like you said, because Kentucky did lose. They might drop a couple spots. You got Purdue and Kansas down there, just kind of lurking, in Baylor. So I'm excited for March Madness. We always fill out our brackets. Who's the one team? Like do you have IU going far? Would do you think IU's
It's
going
all
far?
matchups, man. It's all
Right.
who they're going to play in the first round, who they match up well. Obviously, I'm going to be biased right now too, though, is that a Cinderella team that I would look to that could make a little bit of noise is my lovely Chattanooga Mocs.
Yeah.
They're 22-6, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
22-6. They've got the coach of the year in the conference. They've got the player of the year in the conference, and David Jean Baptiste. They've got talent. I mean, they lost tonight. That sucked. They lost on a last-second three-pointer tonight against the team that won the conference last year. Most people are not going to know who they are. It's UNC Greensboro.
Yeah.
But that's a Cinderella team. IU-wise, and even Chattanooga-wise, even Alabama-wise, it's matchups, especially probably more so for the two teams I'm talking about, because IU is going to be an 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
So who they're up against.
Yeah.
Chattanooga is going to be a 10, 11, 12 probably, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Who are they matched up against? How do they play against them?
Yeah.
Where are they playing? I would love to say I think IU to get in the tournament this year for IU is a massive accomplishment.
Yeah.
You got a new coach. He's bringing his culture. People have bought in.
Yeah.
You've got Trace Allen Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looked great, but he's gone this year. Woodson's going to bring his guys in.
Yeah.
To get back to the tournament where IU belongs is a big deal, because whether you're a 2 seed or a 10 seed, IU needs to be in the tournament. And the fact that they haven't been in 4 years is a disgrace.
Here's the thing for Alabama. Alabama is so inconsistent this year. We are so inconsistent. We're not shooting the ball as well behind the 3-point line, and that's Nate Oates' offense is get a paint touch, either finish at the rim, get a paint touch, kick it out, let our guys shoot. Shackelford and Quinterly's been atrocious the last 6 or 7 games. He's still getting buckets, but here's the thing about Alabama. They have the talent, the coaching staff to make a deep run again. We got to the Sweet 16 last year, lost to UCLA, who obviously went on to the Final Four. But they have a chance, I think, to make some noise in the tournament if the right Alabama shows up and does the things that they do well, which is obviously shoot the ball behind the 3-point line. I mean, Nate Oates wants like 25 to 33s a game, and paint touches. So they're pretty good defensively. They're not as good as they were last year, but I still think that team, and it is about situations and who they draw and where they play, but consistency for them has been so disturbing to watch at times. One time I'm screaming and enjoy, and the next time I want to take my Roku TV remote and smash it over my TV. So if they come to play, yeah, I think they have a good chance to make a run coming up soon here in March when the old March Madness tournament kicks off. All right, this is the next topic. We were talking about this today. I like LeBron James. First of all, don't get us started on who's the GOAT, okay? Who it is. Is it Kobe? Is it LeBron? Is it Michael Jordan?
It's Michael Jordan.
It's Michael Jordan. It's going to be Michael Jordan for me. That's my era. And
Penny Hardaway.
You can no, not even. Don't say his name.
Shaq.
He's just naming people from his Orlando Magic at this point. But here's our question, and I'm gonna let you take it first. But I want to ask you this: is it a failed season if LeBron James and the Lakers miss the playoffs?
I don't know if it's failed because I think they're a sucky team from the beginning.
You know why they're sucky? You know why they're sucky?
Players.
Because he got a bunch of 37-year-old players.
This is LeBron's fault. It's 100% on. Rob Pelinka's going to get fired. Frank Vogel's going to get fired. They're all going to get fired. That's what's going to happen. Vogel's going to go before the end of the year. Pelinka's going to get fired at the end of the year because they're going to miss the playoffs. And LeBron's going to be sitting there and he's going to be like shaking his head. You know, hey, what are you going to do? LeBron put the team together. LeBron went and got Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony. I highly doubt the GM, Rob Pelinka, sitting there going, I really want a 30-plus-year-old, 35-plus-year-old Carmelo Anthony who all he does is jack up shots. They're a sucky team. They're a horribly built team. Anthony Davis is the best player on the team, but he can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. He just got hurt again tonight. He just got hurt again tonight.
He's hurt again. He's hurt again. And it's LeBron's fault. It's LeBron. LeBron doesn't want to play. You know, the knock on LeBron has always been LeBron does not want to play with young players. Yeah. You know, when he went back to Cleveland, they got rid of, Wiggins, and they got rid of like everybody. He brought in D Wade and J.R. Smith, and he did the same thing with the Lakers. And the thing in the end, too, is they're an old as dirt team.
That's exactly right.
They're old. They're all old. And I'm sorry, when you're going up against Devin Booker with the Suns, or Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, who are fairly young. You got Giannis, who is very young. You got Ja Morant, who's very young. You got a lot of talented young players. Man, your team knocks the dust off and has to put Ben Gay on their knees before they go out and play a game.
Take their osteo-biflex.
So, yeah, but in the end, is it a disappointment? No, because I don't think they were a playoff team anyway to start the season. They were a potential play-in game that they had, a new play-in game.
They still are. I think they're like a 9 right now. They're in the play-in game right now, but who's to say? I mean, we're just reaching All-Star Weekend, which is obviously this weekend. Look, I'm not going to put it all on LeBron. I'm going to put a lot of it on him. But dude, this is the NBA, Steven. This is the cream of the crop for basketball. And whether you've got a bunch of 35-year-olds or look, Russell Westbrook is so bad right now. It's insane. It's almost to me, sorry for anybody that's a Cam Newton fan, but it's almost to me like Cam Newton forgot how to throw a football. I like your little Adam says it's all LeBron's fault. Like how Cam Newton forgot how to throw a football, Russell Westbrook forgot how to shoot a jumper. Dude, I saw this the other night. I tend to watch some Laker games because I do like LeBron. I do. But I watched Russell Westbrook come down the floor and pull up from the elbow, and he hit the side of the backboard. Not like the glass. The freaking side of the backboard on a pull-up jumper. Come on, bro. Yeah, you guys can reach me at AdamRainbow11 for all of your comments on Twitter. But again, I'm not going to put it all on LeBron because, look, like I said, I'll put 85% of it on him. If he's truly the one that got this team, which is probably correct, and had a say in getting all these players. But they still, I mean, these are, Russell Westbrook was a good player. LeBron's obviously one of, let's just say, the top 5 players of all time. They've got other players on that team that are good. Carmelo Anthony he can still shoot the ball, I guess, a little bit. They got Dwight Howard, who's old. They lost a lot of people from last year. Kuzma leaves, and now he's averaging 20 points a game in Washington. So, to me, it's a failure if you don't make the playoffs. It's a bust. I don't care if it's 35.
But is it only a bust because it's LeBron?
Yes, that's exactly why.
The team in general is not made up of a lot of good parts.
No.
The team I told y'all in the preseason, I told you and my brother, we were talking about the Lakers, and I said that team scares me if it was 2015,
2012. Yeah, I mean, 10 years
2012.
ago.
That team scares me. But it's 2022, 2021, 2022. Like,
What
it's only a failure because LeBron's on the team.
exactly? But we've talked about this before. In essence of football and a quarterback, what's the quarterback supposed to do? Right? Elevate your team. LeBron James is supposed to be able to do that. Whether they're
LeBron James is
35,
also, what is he, 37?
yeah,
He's
he
been in the
is.
league, what, 18 years now?
That's something freaking ridiculous.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean, he's 18.
19.
He came in the league when he was 18. He came out of high
I
school.
mean,
So,
he's
but
great.
yeah, I still think it's a bust, man. I don't care. I mean, they should be able to. And right now, I think as it sits, they're in as a play-in game right now. But I'm going to tell you, they don't get past the first round. I don't care who they play.
I don't think they got a play-in game if they make it to the play-in game.
Steve,
This is not a hate on LeBron. This is not a hate on the Lakers. They're not a good team. The only reason they're being talked about is because LeBron James is on the team.
Yeah.
If this was the Grizzlies or my Magic, no one would be talking about them. They would just be a bad team.
They are a bad team.
I do. I put the fault on LeBron because whether you want to say it or not, LeBron orchestrates everything that has to do with every team he's on.
Yeah, he does.
And they didn't. The thing too is they didn't make any trades. They didn't make any moves because here's the funny thing. I read this was normally LeBron's teams if they're not great, they make a ton of moves. Well, bro, here's the deal. You got to have assets that other teams want, and no one wants a damn thing off that team.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook would be great to get rid of, except for the fact that he's getting paid $35 million a year,
and he's not looked good, and no one wants him.
Yeah,
you got no assets. You had no tradable assets.
Yeah.
So don't tell me, LeBron, that you were good with the team. That's why you didn't make changes. You didn't make changes because no one wanted your poop.
I'll say it. They're shit. Nobody wanted their shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you put it all. I'll give them 85. They still got it. I still think they got
I'll do 95 because Pelinka still has to sign off on it.
Yeah, he does. He does. All right, we're flipping.
Maybe. Who knows?
We're going to flip now. We're going to flip to our last segment. Anybody that knows me or Steven knows we are huge wrestling fans, big time wrestling fans. We actually went a couple, 2-3 weeks ago to I don't know how long ago that was. 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, something like that. Whenever SmackDown was here in Nashville, but we got a big pay-per-view coming up for WWE Elimination Chamber, which is on Saturday, and it starts at like freaking 11 o'clock because they're in Saudi Arabia. And I want to get your thoughts. We're going to talk about. I want to talk about one match in particular, and it's the Elimination Chamber match. The men. We can talk about the women too if we want, but the men in there. And we've got who we got in there. We got AJ Styles. We got Austin Theory. We got Bobby Lashley. We got Brock Lesnar. We got Seth Rollins, and I'm always forgetting the last one. I can't remember who. There's a sixth one. Who is it? Riddle. Riddle is it.
Riddle.
Should I still hold true on my prediction from a year ago?
No.
Okay. I want to get your thoughts on, obviously, Bobby Lashley's the champion right now. He's defending that championship inside the Elimination Chamber. I want to know what your thoughts are on who do you think is going to win, or let's say, who do you want to win and who do you think is going to win?
Who do I want to win? I think selfishly it would be AJ Styles.
Yeah.
So I think he's amazing. He's been out of the title picture for too long.
Yeah.
He elevates the title. He elevates anybody who wrestles in the ring with him.
Yep.
And I think he's also on the downward slope in regards to when he's going to retire.
Yeah, I think he's already wrestled longer than he wanted to, honestly.
I think so. I think so too. Who I think, so it's going to be off. I think Austin Theory is going to have a really good chance because all the behind the scenes stuff, he's 23.
Yeah. Vince loves young guys.
There are no other wrestlers under the age of like 30 that are worth a damn in the WWE.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon loves him.
Mm-hmm.
And the rumor has been that he was going to get a big push. The rumor was, there was a rumor out there that he was going to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
So I think there's a very real possibility that he wins. If he doesn't, he shows very, very well in the chamber.
Yeah.
But if I'm betting, I could see that. My heart says I would love to see AJ Styles. There's also a decent possibility Lashley retains.
Yeah. So selfishly, I also want AJ Styles to win because he had to deal with Omos for how long and help try to put him over. AJ Styles needs to hold some sort of belt in WWE, not tag team with Omos. It should be an Intercontinental or, the WWE Championship. But the winner of this match is going to be Bobby Lashley. And I'll tell you why. Because he just freaking won it, and they are not going to take it off of him.
It took it off of Big E pretty quickly.
Big E held it for like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Bobby Lashley won it. Bobby Lashley won it last month.
Hey man, I'm just saying. Like Vince likes his new shiny
Vince
toys.
Is Vince. Vince is Vince.
Vince is Vince, bro. He's got a T-Rex skull in his office.
They could possibly set it up to where Lesnar wins and it's title versus title like they wanted. Like they were talking about, and we talked about that too. Who wants to see Lesnar versus Reigns again?
For the 17th time.
Steven doesn't. Steven doesn't want to see that.
No.
I don't. But I honestly think we talked about Austin Theory. I actually think he's going to have a good showing. But I just, for some reason, think Lashley's going to retain. I don't know why. I just think it's too soon. He won it 3 weeks ago and at the Rumble, and I don't see him taking it off of him that quick. So on the flip side of this, does Lita?
You don't have to spend a lot of time on the female one. I know who I'm picking.
Who are you picking?
Oh, it's Alexa Bliss is going to win.
Yeah, that's exactly
She's
who
back.
I was going to.
I think everybody, including my brother, who got into wrestling during the pandemic, who never saw her
as Alexa Bliss. He saw her as the Fiend. Alexa Bliss.
She is.
Yeah.
And she will be great. And I think she was a surprise entrance.
Yeah.
So I think she wins. I don't think that's not even a question for me.
Becky or Lita?
So I would have said I say Becky, but there's interesting things that lead me to believe that Lita could actually have one final title run.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you why I think that. I think Becky's going to win, but what Lita said, I think it was this past Monday during their contract signing, was she said, I didn't come back for one match. I came back for one final run. So why say that if you're only going to wrestle one match? Like,
it's a great point.
Was the cat getting leaked out of the bag there? You know what I mean? A little bit. So, excuse me. Are they going to have Lita go to WrestleMania and fight, let's say, Alexa Bliss?
Hey man, the hard thing with that is it's hard to not. So one WrestleMania is Ronda and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Great match.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to not have Becky in a main spot at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
That's the other thing. Now, you could do a triple threat. Maybe you do have a triple threat. Maybe Lita, Alexa, and Becky.
Yeah.
You know how they like to shoehorn people in.
Yeah. AKA Charlotte Flair.
Randomly coming in, yeah. 12-time champion.
You want to talk anything? You want to talk anything AEW? I got something I want to say about AEW.
Okay.
I want to talk about Cody Rhodes.
That's big news. That's big news. That's surprising news.
So Steven's a big AEW guy. I love it. He's just a little bit bigger fan than me. But Steven grew up kind of watching WCW. I grew up watching the WWF/WWE at the time.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, Don Donkey. But the news about Cody Rhodes leaving, who was a founder, right? Who helped found AEW. His wife, Brandy, was the chief brand officer or something, I think, for there.
He was an executive vice president.
Yeah. Rumor is there was a little heat, I think, back there. He wanted more money, I think. They weren't going to give him more money. But what do you think the impact of that, of him possibly going back to WWE too, but just the overall impact. What do you think about what that does for AEW? Does it do anything? Honestly, does it do anything?
So the sad thing that I want to say, and I like Cody a lot, is I don't think it has any effect
Mm-hmm.
on AEW because AEW Cody was not in main storylines. He
Yep.
kind of filtered off, siphoned off, not in being in kind of the big meaty storylines. And you've got right now in AEW, you have CM Punk, MJF, Malachi
Hangman.
Black, Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho. There's so much talent there, and
Mm-hmm.
then they're building the young talent, like an MJF, who's probably one of the most talented wrestlers right now.
Yep.
And you have Wardlow, who's there too. I'm what I'm most nervous for, and let's not forget my boy Keith Lee now too. But I think my biggest worry with him is that he's going to go back to WWE, and there's a very legitimate reason why he left.
Yeah.
He was stuck in a gimmick, and they wouldn't let him out.
Right.
Dude, he literally, I think the people thinking he's going to WWE have to remember that and remember he literally had a legal fight with them to have his last name.
Yeah.
Because they own Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
They owned the last name. So, I mean, those who are immediately jumping to that conclusion, sit back, let it pace. There was a lot of rumors saying he was going to show up on Raw this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But as far as the impact that it has on AEW, I think it's minimal.
It has zero impact, Stephen. Zero. That company's going to survive without Cody Rhodes.
Oh, no, I don't think that. I think he'll be missed.
Yeah.
I think he has a great eye for talent. Let's not forget he found MJF.
No.
So he has a great eye for talent. I could see him going to like an NXT and helping develop the younger talent.
Yeah.
I'm actually sad to see Brady go. Just selfish. Well, also the women's division. We always talk about the women's division. AEW is so weak. At least having Brady in there, she can work a mic.
Yeah, she can. She can.
But yeah, I mean, it's big news. It was surprising news.
It is big
happened
news
right before Dynamite.
Yeah, it's huge news for AEW fans because it was kind of shocking to me at first when we saw that get put out, like Meltzer put it out, and if Dave Meltzer and Wrestling Observer put it out, it's usually pretty spot on, right? If it's on Twitter like that from those two. But just the fact that he helped start a company and a company that he's an EVP in with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and it's shocking to me that he would even want to leave. I mean, why is he? I can't fathom why he would want more money. Not that I know how much he's making.
I don't know if I buy it.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy the money thing because I'm sorry, but if you're an executive vice president and a talent, he's not making chump change, bro. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's a real possibility he's going to retire.
That could happen too. He just had a baby.
He was very close several times. He was very, and for those saying that was a work that was not real when he took time off and he was thinking about retiring. You watch like what was it, Cody and Brandy,
Roads to the Top. Roads to the Top.
Yeah. He was very close to burnout.
Yeah,
he was very close, and he took that time off. I mean, maybe he retires. I mean, lost all of it too. I mean, yeah, him and Brandy are both gone. So there's a real. I mean, he's got a kid now.
Yep.
He does run a wrestling school. Like that's still part of it.
He
could very well retire.
He could. I don't think he does though. I think he goes somewhere. I think he has a couple of years left in him. I don't know where that is. If I'm a betting
he's older
man,
than you realize too. Remember we talked about that too.
Yeah.
What is it, 37?
37, 38, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're saying in that he goes to NXT would be actually pretty cool for him and cool for WWE fans because he could help a lot of that, like you said, younger talent kind of develop that, because we all know that's the problem with WWE, honestly, is they have stars in NXT, and when they move them up to the main rosters, they don't know what the hell to do with them. Perfect example is Karrion Kross.
Keith Lee.
Karrion Kross and Keith Lee were so dominant in NXT, and then they moved up, and they had Keith Lee fought 3 times on Raw. It was always on the main event, which was main event meaning main event before the show started, the main event show, not the actual main event of the night. You know, Karrion Kross had a gimmick change. Scarlett was gone. He was trying to squash like freaking Humberto Carrillo, and I mean, it was ridiculous. But what I'm saying is, if Cody Rhodes can go there, because NXT has a guy right now, Braun Breaker, who is Rick Steiner's son, Scott Steiner's nephew, that is totally dominant right now. He's good on the mic. He's got the body, the physique that Vince likes, and he's young. And he has the potential to be something, I think. And what transpires, we'll see. But I think Cody could do well in NXT. I think a lot of those older guys could. Like AJ Styles has went down. You know, he went down for a couple of weeks and did some things. And Ziggler showed up last week.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know that Dolph Ziggler's like 42 years old.
Yeah.
I saw that the other day. I was like, holy crap, man. But very shocking news coming out of AEW with that. I mean, didn't see that coming at all. It was kind of really was shocking to us. So we'll see what transpires from that. But it's going to be me and Steven will probably watch Saturday, see what happens in this elimination chamber. But we wanted to throw a couple different things in at you this week. We'll probably talk more football next week, but I'm done, man. You want to take us out?
I know. Well, you guys, please remember, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment. You know, Adam said 250 subscribers. He's going to buy a jersey of your choice and send it to you. Pass the word along. He's doing it, not me.
I'll take care of it.
Let's get it happen. Let's make it happen. Make it buy a good one. You know what? I want Auburn fans. I want to make him have to buy an Auburn jersey. Cadillac Williams Auburn Tigers jersey. Get it done, y'all. Get it done. All right. So, as always, we end this the same way we always do. If you like our takes, you don't like our takes, if you think they're stupid, if you think they're great, it doesn't matter, because here on this one, we meet at the mic and we talk it out.